Like, yeah, Lewis, CASA supervisor. Who could that be? Maybe. A CASA worker is on here. Like Lewis. Huh? A CASA worker is a court-appointed special advocate for a juvenile or youth.
Oh, I know who that is. For Nori, Jaden. She's the one that has the social worker and case worker.
That's right. They were getting with her. She was there, right, doing something. What was the status? Her law firm is in. So sorry.
Oh, so now they're available, so they just reset. It's just Richard.
They are scheduled today.
Right, because she was not available.
Okay. Going to go ahead and double check the sound. Got it. When people come in. I'm Judge Person, and I'll be redundant for the first bit of time in order to give people's audio the opportunity to catch up. I just have a few announcements that I'll make, beginning with the fact that we do have a pretrial docket meeting today. That means that folks that are here who have pleaded not guilty will be meeting in a breakout room, and that'll just be in the order that you appeared. While you were logging in, I was noting who logged in at what time, just to kind of keep a semblance of the line. And what I'll do then is just begin that room with Mr. Matson. Mr. Matson, before I release you to go to the breakout room, if you could unmute and just tell everybody who you are, announce who you are today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you, Mr. Matson. And I see Ben Martin here on the Eddie Grimes case, and I'm going to actually pull over to that breakout space. Mr. Martin, I know you know the drill, so we might as well get you started. We are trying to be very efficient with people's time, and what I've found is that if I basically give everybody the same information, it goes more smoothly, and then everybody comes at it from the same understanding of how things move through a courtroom. So what I want to tell you is that when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. A plea is an answer or response to that accusation. And there are three options for pleading. They are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Now, I know what I do want to tell you is that in a Class C court, which this is a Class C court, you have the right to meet with an attorney of your choice. There is not court-appointed counsel, but there is the option to reschedule your case before I accept your plea and move your case forward. Once you enter a plea and then I accept that plea, you waive that right and you move forward in the direction that your plea is taking you. So in connection with that, I want to just tell you where cases go depending on the type of plea. So the three pleading options: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Guilty means I did this, and you're moving forward with sentencing. Not guilty is I'm contesting this. The state should have to prove this case against me. And that moves the case toward a trial. So ultimately, not guilty moves the case to the trial process. There's an online pretrial. We're doing that today for those who are scheduled for that. And then if the case is unresolved today, we're coming into court, the next setting to meet in court, because now we're moving that case toward a trial process. And we're scheduling, we're doing pretrial matters at that setting. it is a two-part setting, but because so many cases get resolved at this level, that is the scheduling order that I have on file, like most of our courts in the state. So guilty, moving forward with sentencing, not guilty, moving toward trial. The third option is no contest. When you plead no contest, it's literally what it says, not contesting the matter. It means I'm not contesting it. I'm not admitting it. I'm just moving forward with sentencing. Judge, let's move forward. So if you plead guilty or no contest, we're moving forward. If you plead not guilty, we're scheduling towards in with the direction of the trial process. And so if you plead guilty or no contest, normally it goes on your record, you pay the fines and costs. This is a Class C court. So normally we're not scheduling you or arresting you to go to jail on the offense. It's unusual, but not completely out of the line of possibilities for a Class C offense to result in an arrest. Normally the arrest at the Class C level is after a sentence or failing to come to court, either way, for not following up and doing the ordered required thing under the law. So appearing for your proceeding is one way to wind up with a warrant, just not doing that, not showing up on time. And then if you have a court order today, like a payment plan or a course due or a record due, if you don't show up, you can wind up with warrants for that reason. There are a handful of offenses where a person can be arrested in a Class C setting, but otherwise, the general rule is you're paying fines and costs, having it go on your record. There are 4 exceptions to having it go on your record, and I want to tell you what those are in just a quick moment. Before I do that, I'm going to pause. Mr. Mattson, Mr. Martin, can I just see where we are? I know we were scheduled for some sort of plea today. However, I don't really have a formal written plea at this time. So where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, there will be deferral paperwork coming your way sometime this morning.
Okay, just a brief sketch of what that looks like.
It's going to be a 90-day deferral, and Mr. Grimes will be paying the full amount of the ticket within the first 30 days. And he will be taking a driver's safety course by the 45th day of the deferral period.
Okay. All right, we'll look for that paperwork from you. Then I will probably just go ahead and sign it, Mr. Martin, so that when you receive it, if you'll sign it and get it back to us, then it becomes final. I think we normally kind of take it out of order to make it less back and forth. If you can follow up with that, that would be appreciated. Is any questions or anything you need to add, Mr. Martin?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Mattson, is that all on this matter?
That is all, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martin. You are good to go. You are excused. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Judge.
So just back to the 4 ways to gain a dismissal. They are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Deferred, I just want to tell you how each of those works. Excuse me. My voice is a little bit challenged today. So compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. The law must specify that that can happen, 1, and you have to meet each detail of the condition under that law. I don't expect everyone to know those details. I will look for those details and talk to you about it. I will automatically do that without a request to do so. I do want to let you know, though, that if you have questions about that in connection with your case, while I can't give legal advice, I can tell you whether it fits or doesn't fit with that type of dismissal. So ask if you have questions about that. The second option is if you qualify and successfully complete a driver safety course option. The driver safety course option in the state of Texas is actually for Class C license holders, Texas license holders, and military active or their dependent active. So if I'm missing something there, I'm looking to see if you qualify to be in that program, and you can expect that I will address it with you and tell you if it appears to me that you could be qualified to be in that program. You won't be forced to do it. But let's talk for just a quick moment. Let me just tell you about fines and costs. So every ticket has a fine and a cost. The fine is set by the judge. The cost is set by the state legislature. In the driver safety course option, you pay the court cost. The fine will go on hold, and you turn in your driving record, the correct record on time, and your driving course, the correct course on time, and you get your case dismissed, and the fine will be waived. It is cheaper to do that than to pay the whole ticket. The reason being that the driving safety course option does in fact promote traffic safety, and that's a verifiable statement. So there is an incentive, it is incentivized by the law. But if it's something that you're qualified to do and you don't want to do it, that you just let me know. If I'm pushing you to do it and you get, that's not what you're going to do, you might as well be upfront about it. I just make certain assumptions that people might be interested in saving money. Most of us are, and that people might be interested in their record. Not everyone is. And if that's not you and I'm pushing it, just let me know. I just want to move forward. But I'll be looking for those exceptions. I'm sorry, I'll look for those qualifications to see if you fall in one of the exceptions to do the driver safety course option. Okay. I'll automatically do that without request because the law really charges me with looking at that with you today. The third way to gain a dismissal in a Class C court is if you qualify and you are approved for a deferred disposition. A deferral or a deferred disposition actually allows for kind of a probated period of time. And during that period of time, there'll be certain things you have to do. We have to sort out fines and costs. We have to sort out the driving, if it's a driving offense, whether there's a course required, a record due. Sometimes with all different kinds of offenses, there are classes that could be associated with a deferral. If you want a deferral, you must make the request at the time that your plea is accepted. Guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred is how you ask. Now, it was on the paperwork that we supplied and asked you to fill out for today, but many people do not know what it means and therefore might not have checked it. So it's, if you're here for the first time, if I have not yet accepted your plea, you can ask about the deferral option. Judge, I'd like a deferred. It's the way that you do that. Okay. Now the judge can say yes or no. You can also ask the prosecutor. The prosecutor can say, yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree. So that's really how those move forward. Okay. So you must speak up for yourself on that one. I won't be moving that at you on my own. Okay. Now, the fourth option is teen court. You have to be a high school or a middle school student or heading to a diploma to qualify. I'll automatically start pushing teen court at you if it looks like you might be qualified, simply because teen court is really what we know by state law it really addresses the record. There's more confidentiality. And also with teen court, not only gaining a dismissal, but the responsibility is on the person whose case it is, rather than a guardian or a parent, to make good on trying to, get back to a place where you're not offending. And so it really makes sense. If a parent just comes in and pays for a ticket, I'm probably going to see that person again. And it might be worse the next time. So it really makes more sense to do teen court, and the burden falls on the young person instead of a parent pay kind of process. So I'll be pushing teen court. If you're in high school or heading to a GED and I'm not pushing teen court, you might want to speak up and let me know. I try to catch those though. So those are the 4 ways to gain a dismissal. Now you know more than many people. And, all of the sort of joking pleasantry aside, these are the ways that things move through the court. And I don't really have 5th options available from the bench. So those are the options. I have a few people that I'm not real clear who they are, and I just want to check in. I've got a gentleman, bearded, named John. If you'll unmute, I just asked you to, and just let me know your full name. What is your full name?
John Christopher Sestida.
Sorry.
How do you spell the last name?
Sustai.
Oh,
TA.
sorry, Sestano. Got it. I see you on my docket. I have several Johns today. Okay, I'm gonna remute you, but now I have you checked in. It's important because I don't want to have people be on the wrong docket, or I have maybe the wrong file. And the next one that I'm not clear about is the CASA supervisor, Lakia Lewis.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor, I believe that I was provided the wrong link for a youth that would represent as the guardian ad litem.
Who's the youth?
Burdick, last name Burdick.
How do you spell it?
Burdick.
And the first name?
Jaden.
Let me run that down. Hang on just a moment, because I don't.
Okay,
have
thank
that.
you. And I'm working on my end as well to see if I was
What's
just
going on?
provided the wrong link. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be right back with you. I've got someone working on it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Just a moment, whoever's speaking. Jaden Nori, Lakia Lewis.
Yes, ma'am.
I have Jaden Nori on my docket.
That is correct.
Okay.
It's Jaden Nori Burdick.
Okay. I just have the Nori as the last. So is that person unavailable for court at this time?
I am reaching out to the department to see if they can be here to have him on the link.
Okay. Today, maybe?
I believe so. This was the link that was provided to me, but I'm not seeing
Yes.
any other of his
It's
guardians there.
the correct link. It is
Okay.
the correct link. And what I'll do is just kind of leave you in the meeting, and I'll check back in with you in a little bit to see where we might be on that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then I had a person named Kenny Wonder. And if you could unmute and tell me your name, please.
How about that? That's probably my laptop name. My name is Kendrick Johnson.
Johnson. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson. Let's see. I've got you in.
Hello.
It won't. Yeah, Mr. Lee, I have you already checked in.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know if I was checked in or not. I've never done this before. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. But right now, I'm going with the people who right now I can't figure out who they are, and I know who you are, and I've got your file pulled. So I'll be with you
Okay.
shortly. I'll be with you soon. But I do
Thank
have
you.
everybody that I need to get to. Then I have a person. It really helps if when you come in the meeting, LGELMG 900, yellow shirt. Can you unmute and tell me your name?
Christopher Michael Weed.
Reed, R-E-E-D.
No, man, W-E-E-D.
Weed. I'm sorry, Mr. Weed. Here we go. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. And let's see. And then, I had a phone number ending in 018. It's a 254 phone number ending in 018. Can you tell me your name?
Yes, ma'am. It's Dennis with Hacienda Builders.
I see. Okay. Right. Gotcha. And you are here for the pre-trial, and we'll be with you very shortly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a last name?
Johnson.
Dennis Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the representative for Hacienda Builders?
I am.
Okay. Are you the owner or an attorney?
No, I'm one of the officers, ma'am,
Officers
of the
from.
corporation, of the company.
Okay. I'm required to ask, so.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not visibly on the screen. You don't have a device where you can do that?
Yeah, Your Honor, I don't. I'm just using my phone and I don't understand. I really don't understand this process, so.
Right. Well, it's an online
Thank you.
Zoom meeting, so it's normally a visual and audio meeting. You can be here on phone. It does limit some of our ability to sort of communicate very effectively, but we will try.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's okay. You don't need to apologize. We'll do our best. And then if it doesn't work, we can always come on into court and skip this. This is more about convenience.
Okay.
But what you can't see when you're on the phone is that I have 22 people in the meeting. So,
Yeah.
and you will be afforded an opportunity just like everybody else, but you won't see it. So when I call your name, that's another reason I wanted to figure out who you were. Then you'll know it's time to unmute again, because I'm actually going to remute you right now. Okay.
I understand. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. We'll be back with you. Thank you. And I have someone needing help. Just one moment. It's not always easy being your own tech person. Okay, so we'll begin. And I did want to start, Mr. Matson, with John Sesteta. And I'll just send y'all both to that breakout room. Mr. Sesteta, that means at the end, you'll be coming back into this space, back over from that meeting, but you're meeting with Mr. Matson because he is actually the prosecutor, not your representative, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so let's see. I'm going to also start with my first person, and that's going to be, just one moment, John stated he was on the other docket. So Jocelyn Cantanilla.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. Let me get your file pulled.
All right.
And you are actually 17, so you're not required to have an adult, but you can. What I would ask you is, let's see, do you know what you're charged with? It is called failed to yield the right of way turning left at an intersection.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the paper.
Okay. And it is one of the things that if you paid it, the fines and costs are $269. This is a car accident case, and that means that you were cited for creating that accident or that crash. And I did receive your plea form. You did enter a plea of no contest and a request for teen court. I think it is a good option for teen court. But before I accept your plea, I want to ask you, do you feel like you understand the pleading options of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Do you think you could explain them to me again so I can be sure?
Yes, guilty really means I did it.
Okay.
So if you plead guilty, you're saying I committed this offense. If you plead not guilty, we don't have an innocence plea because then you would have to prove your innocence. The state is required to prove your case first. And if they do it, then the burden shifts. So the way that works is we have a not guilty plea. And when you plead not guilty, you're asking for the case to be tried against you.
Okay.
And then if you plead no contest, you're just allowing the court to move forward and sentence you without admitting or denying the offense. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. I received a plea of no contest from you, and that is for the offense of failing to yield the right of way turning left at an intersection. Is that your plea today at this time?
Yes.
Okay. So teen court at this time involves coming to a proceeding, a teen court process. And in that proceeding, the jury of your peers, young people, would be deciding what the sentence should be. And I have availability on that docket for November 16th. And you would need to come into the building today to do the paperwork and meet the case manager, who will go over that process with you. And there is a $20 teen court fee. Can you pay that teen court fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when can you be here?
I could go there around 4 p.m. because that's when my mom gets back from work.
Okay.
So you could take me there.
We'll have someone here to meet with you. I believe you'll be asking for Miss Stotts, and just let them know your name, and we'll make a note in your file that you'll be here to sign up to get ready for teen court. Okay.
All right.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Mattson, I know that you were meeting with Mr. Sesteta, and if he'll unmute and get on the screen, please, if you're able, Mr. Sesteta.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Okay. So, Mr. Mattson, let's begin with you. Where are we on this charge? It's a single charge of running a stop sign. The fines and costs are $234.
We are going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay, final pretrial has already been scheduled, and that was in your paperwork, Mr. Sesteta, but it is for October 5th at 1 o'clock, and we will plan to see you here in the courtroom, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Do I need to stick around or can I go?
No, you don't. You're good to go.
Okay.
That's one reason that I watch when people log in, because you would be leaving if you work as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving, Mr. Mattson, I'll move your docket forward. Your next person is Alexander Lee. And Mr. Lee, let me go ahead and, if you'll, Mr. Lee, if you'll unmute so we can make sure your audio is working.
Hello.
Hi, okay. So I am moving you forward and you'll meet with the prosecutor. And then after y'all have that meeting, well, you'll be coming back into this room because we'll need to talk a few minutes before you go today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I have sent him over, Mr. Mattson. And it looks like that took effect. Thank you. I am moving forward with Haley Pickett. Hi, Miss Pickett. Can you unmute and tell me how you're doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Is that your mother with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I do want to just go ahead and talk to you a little bit about this. There is a single speeding charge and the costs and fines are $254. I did receive a plea of guilty. And before we do that, before I accept your plea, and I also, it looks like I received a request for teen court. So before we do that, I did want to ask if you understood the options for pleading guilty, not guilty, and no contest.
Or no contest. No contest.
Right. And so did you understand the options?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with teen court, there is a $20 teen court fee. And then, give me one moment. What is the rate of speed? So we would go ahead and schedule teen court, which you do come to the court today to sign up for. And then we would schedule that for November 16th, where you would go from Temple High School. Are you at Temple High School?
Lake Belton.
Lake Belton. So you'll have to get out of school a little bit early to come over from that school to the Temple School, because we hold teen court at the high school. And we have a courtroom that we set up there. And you would come to the high school and have a jury of your peers hear your case and determine the sentence. And are you interested in doing that?
Yes. What's the other option?
Well, if you haven't been to a driver safety course option, you would pay the court cost, which is $144, and you would have a driving course due within, it has to be after the ticket, due within 90 days, plus your driving record would have to be turned in.
So she already took defensive driving because we didn't understand how that worked.
Okay,
That
I do see that certificate. Yeah, are you paying the court costs today?
I mean, yes, I can do that.
Okay, so, and then we would just need her to come sign up. You would have to come with her and pay the court costs. I'll accept the driving record early, and then we would give you still that window of 90 days. It won't take very long for you to get the driving record turned in, the correct record, and we'll give you a handout sheet that explains how to get the driving record. You can print it online at home and bring it to the court.
Okay.
Okay.
So I come down there today to where?
Me and you would come down today to do that sign up. Is that what y'all want to do?
I don't know. I got confused. Are we signing up for teen court or are we signing up to?
Well, I asked if you wanted to sign up for teen court and you said, what else can you do?
Right.
And I said that you could sign up for driving safety and you said, can we turn the other form in early? And I said,
Okay.
yes. And then you said, I don't know why I'm equally confused with what you're trying to do.
Okay, me too. I don't want to do teen court.
Okay. How about you, Haley? What do you want to do?
I don't want to do teen court.
Okay. So your next option would be to do a driving safety course option.
Okay, so we just come down there today?
You would come down here today to pay the $144. I'll already accept your driving course, even though it's early, and you'll still have a window of time to get your driving record turned in because that's part of that program.
Okay.
Okay. So what time will y'all be here?
As soon as we're done.
Okay. You'll need to sign the driving course, Haley, when you get here. They'll print it. They'll give you a copy to sign. There's a signature for you, and then the insurance copy you can use if your insurance company will accept it. Okay. Some of them do and some of them don't.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll see you this morning. And I'm just making some notes on your file so that it's ready when you get here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Just remember that the last thing you're going to do after you do your paperwork today, and they'll go over it with you, is the driving record. And then you're done with that process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. I am moving forward then with my next person, which is April Ross.
Yes,
And
ma'am, I'm here.
Hi, Ms. Ross. How are you
Hello.
this morning?
Doing good.
Just stay put, and you are next. I just am checking on.
Okay.
I had Tanya Thomas having a real difficulty with her audio, and she's logged in and out a few times, and I don't see her. And I just wanted to look and see if I could find her. But well, that's not her. There she is. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I don't see her, but it says she might be in. Okay. Well, anyway, Miss Ross, let's move forward. There we go. And so we had a Zoom meeting on September
ma'am.
1st,
Yes.
and we didn't have you in that meeting. You weren't a show up for that. You were a no-show for that.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened with that?
Oh, part of my disability that I get for the first is memory loss. So I get retirement disability due to that. And plus for my son that has autism, getting him into a special need classroom, mainstream classroom and everything else, I totally forgot about.
Right, okay. So let me just look at the financial affidavit too.
Yes, ma'am.
You
And,
have several, you have several children in the home, is that right?
Yes, I live with my mom now. And like I was telling the police, due to the snowstorm a long time ago, I live with my mom. So my address is at my P.O. box. And I gave him the mail from my social security and everything. And he was like, well, still, it's not a good address. So I finally just now got the address changed and got my new license I have now with my mom's address on there, because that's who I live with.
Okay, so that change was made.
Yes, ma'am, I have it now, and I went up to the people because I just paid for it to get it renewed. And they said since I skipped on the first Zoom meeting that they couldn't process it through, so I needed to talk to you about it.
Okay. And then on the speeding charge, let me see. Where we
Okay.
are. On the speeding charge, there's a no contest.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would look at community service as what I would order you to do to fulfill that sentence.
But is there any community service that will not go against me having my back issues because I have a muscular disorder?
Okay, so I would need a doctor's note in order to consider that, but I can.
Okay.
Consider that. I would just, what I would do is order community service.
Okay.
With a deadline. And then the deadline would mean either the hours or the doctor note for me to consider so that I can see if I need to make an adjustment or do a waiver. Okay.
Okay.
And then as to the license charge, give me just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have? I think she would have to talk to Mr. Watson.
Right. Because we have to.
Right. The new one. Right, yeah, they're not allowed to use it. Okay, so what I can do, Ms. Ross, on the other matter is go ahead and schedule you with the prosecutor to look at that, because I would have to have a recommendation from him due to the missed court date. I would definitely, notify him of the request for dismissal and the changes in the file.
Okay.
But I can't promise you that he would dismiss that. He would be willing to look at it. I understand there's a disability as the reason why you missed the court date. And so I could look at that or have him look at that.
Okay.
And we would come back though, because his docket is already set for today.
Okay, that's fine.
So I would schedule that for October 10th.
Okay.
And what we'll do is send you a Zoom link on that one.
Okay.
To the email that we use to set this meeting up. Will that will that time work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that email work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then on your community service, we have a due date by November 22nd of 14 hours for that one.
Okay.
The speeding. Okay. You'll need to come by to pick up that paperwork because you'll have one thing you need to sign. When can you be here?
Oh, I can be here today.
Yeah, what time though?
When we get off the meeting. Get out the meeting now.
Okay, I'll just put no later than 10:30, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. It looks like we can move both cases forward then, and thank you.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Mattson, I know that you were talking with Mr. Alexander. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Lee. Let me double check. He may still be in that other space. Still trying to get that to move him over. Let's see. I don't think he was on a telephone,
No, ma'am, he was not.
but I have tried to get it to move over 7 times.
I will go check on him really quick.
Okay, just if not, maybe he could. There he goes. Here he is. Okay, Mr. Lee. Let me get Mr. Mattson back over. Hold on just a moment. Nothing's working easily today. He moved right when you did, so I don't know. But anyway, so Mr. Mattson and Mr. Lee, where is he? There he is. Okay. Mr. Mattson, where are we with regard to this matter?
We are setting for final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Lee, the final pretrial should have already been in your paperwork, but anyway, it is October 5th at 1 p.m. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll
Do you
see
know what
here.
day that falls on? I don't have my calendar.
It's always on a Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll see you then here in the courtroom. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Have a nice day, Your Honor.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Mr. Mattson, I'm moving you forward next with, I have Miss Thomas, but we have not successfully been able to get her back in the meeting. So I'm going to move you forward with Dennis Johnson from Hacienda Builders. He's on a phone call, and I told him we would try to do our best with that. So let me find him. Let's see. There we go. Mr. Johnson, can you unmute? There we go.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're on a phone call. Again, that's fine, but I'm going to move you over to the meeting with Mr. Mattson. And then at that point, after y'all have that conversation, you won't be able to move back over because on the phone, you can't. It restricts you a bit. So you'll wind up hanging up and you'll listen for a moment. You'll wind up hanging up and dialing back in.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. I'm moving you over.
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm moving you over.
Thank you, ma'am.
He's moved. Mr. Mattson, good to move forward. Okay, I am moving forward as well. I'm going to, Jaden Norrie, I think that we have Abby Melvin perhaps with you. And if we're able to get on screen, that will help. Thank you, Ms. Melvin.
Yes, and my apologies, Your Honor.
Thank you. I had another CASA worker, Lakia Lewis, in. And so I think everybody's here who needs to be. But I don't know if Ms. Norrie Burdick is in. Is she with you, able to be with you today?
Your Honor, I contacted the staff who was present with Jaden and asked them to wake him up. And it was told to me, I could hear it in the background of the phone call, he was yelling at staff and slams the door. So it's my understanding he won't be joining us. I have provided them with the Zoom link in case he changed his mind.
Okay.
But yeah, you're correct. I am his CPS supervisor, and then his CASA supervisor, Lakia Lewis, is present.
I'm just going to take some notes because what will kind of happen at this point, well, Miss Lewis, sorry, before I move forward, I'm sorry, I had to put something in my mouth for a moment to help me. My voice is struggling today.
Yes,
but I would like to hear from the CASA supervisor before I make a decision.
Yes, Your Honor, we don't have any additional updates. the department is his guardian, and CASA is not the parent guardian or the legal guardians.
Thank you for clarifying.
So that would be Miss Melvin.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I just wanted to make sure of that and give you an opportunity to be heard. What I would do at this point is really just put the matter as a pending matter. And technically, Mr. Burdick is how I think I should refer to him, is it B-U-R-D-I-C-K or C-H?
D-I-C-K, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. So technically, Mr. Burdick, through no fault of your departments, is a no-show. And we've made court available to him. We don't issue an arrest because he's not of an age where we would do that. However, most likely, unless he will check in soon, I'll begin this proceeding of putting a hold on his license until he will come and answer to the charge and let us work with him. The most likely outcome, if y'all are in communication with a direct worker or him, is that, you know, we would work with the department. If he's in a facility, a lot of times it's difficult for those young people to make it to a specific type of class. So we work on it from the standpoint of what's available there to satisfy a type of intervention that might be available on the smoking issue. It may not be the primary issue for him right now. We have a second charge on not just the tobacco by a minor. The second charge is an assault by contact charge. Normally we're looking at classes for aggression, anger management type of classes. Now, I sometimes will retroactively apply those cases or those types of interventions and credit the person. So if that's available to him and he wants to write me about that, I don't have a plea, so I'm not executing a plea, and I'm not trying to go around the presumption of not guilty, but I'm just trying to spread out the options that might be available if he were to engage in any kind of sentencing. I would be looking to sentence to those kinds of interventions because those are the problems that we had filed with the court. If he pleaded not guilty, we would move in the direction of trial. So that's really kind of the landscape. I'm not looking for money from this young person. I'm looking for intervention for problems. I know y'all are too. And sometimes I look retroactively if the case was pending and the person appears later. So if he has proof of that for me to look at a later date in connection with any type of sentence that would happen with this court, that's also something that would be a possibility. Of course, trial is also available as an option. But at this point, I'm not going to continue to reschedule until he reaches out. Okay, so y'all can kind of cross it off, but it's a pending matter. It's not gone. And we'll be notifying him of that in writing. The address I have on file is here in Temple on Stratford. And I don't give out the full address in court, but what I will say is he does have a duty to keep me informed as to his proper address until his case is completed.
Your Honor, would I be able to be provided with the address to contact you at? There's been a change in his team at CPS, and I'm not sure that Jaden has that address, and I want to keep you informed since that address is actually no longer correct.
I'm going to text you the address directly. In the chat box.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the phone number that we have as well. And that way I don't like to give out people's phone number because of doxing and all that kind of stuff. But and then what I would do is also send you our address where you can email, actually it's easier. You can email to the email where we sent the link to the meeting. You can email back the proper address to us. That would really help because, you know, we can take a plea by mail if the department signs off on it since you are the guardian. So if he wants to write me a letter or a note on a plea form and his worker supervisor sorry, his guardian signs off, then we can move forward. It's not a physical appearance requirement at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm just going to make a note that we're going to email plea forms. And y'all are going to email change of address information. And we'll just see where the plea takes us at that point. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just making a note that right now CPS is the guardian. Okay. All right. Thank you both very much for being. I'm sure it's helpful whether they realize yet or not. It's great that y'all are here. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Mattson, let's see where we are. I just have a little bit of a chaotic morning. I've got a few people coming in and out. I know that Dennis Johnson is back in the meeting. He just dialed back in. And Mr. Johnson from Hacienda Builders, let's have you. Yeah, thank you for taking off audio, off mute. Let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Mattson, let me start with you. Where are we on the matter, the two cases?
I believe we are going to set for final, Your Honor, but I think Mr. Johnson did want to speak with you about how that works.
Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. What I'd like to request, I guess I'm gonna have my attorney or the company attorney proceed with this.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable giving I don't think we're guilty, so I don't, but I want him to make sure he has enough time to do whatever he has to do. I don't want to lose any opportunities to, any rights we have to.
Well, you won't lose. You won't lose, Mr. Johnson. Let me speak for just a moment. Okay. So, as judge of the court, this is scheduled right now for October 5th at 1 p.m. And that's plenty of time for your attorney to get in touch with us and file a letter of representation. And we'll go from there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
all I need to do then. Just we're done, correct? And I can just contact him.
Right. Your attorney should know how to proceed.
Yes.
But if
but I can hang up.
Well, okay. Just one last thing before you hang up, though. This is scheduled for October 5th at 1. So either you're here or your attorney is here or both. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So make sure that they have done their duty, because I'm on notice that there could be an attorney, but I don't have an attorney in place yet. So it's your responsibility to make sure that person files what they need to file. And so you'll need to get with them soon. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You too. Okay, Mr. Mattson, I am moving you forward. I'm just going to call out there's Miss Thomas. We have not been able to, there you are. Great. You figured out a way to get both.
Look, I finally can hear now.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to send both your visual and your audio devices over to this meeting with Mr. Mattson. And I appreciate your diligence on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Getting it figured out. So there we go. All right. And I'm moving forward as well with John Cordes. If you could unmute, tell me how you're doing today while I get your file pulled up, that would be great.
I think you're doing well. How are you today?
You're doing okay?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Fine. Thank you for asking. I do have your file, and let's see. I want to confirm where we are. So if you'll listen a little bit, and then I'll take your information as well. There's a no insurance charge. This is an allegation date of August 15th, and the fines and costs, if you paid it, are $281. And I do have a plea of no contest. And I want to come back to that one in just a moment because I have a follow-up question. There is also a registration charge, and there is a plea of no contest to that charge. And with that one, the fines and costs are $151. And then there is a plea, no plea entered yet on a failed to change address. The case is on time for tomorrow, and I have some information about that I'll visit with you in just a moment. And then you filled out the financial information regarding your work with Sparkling. And I've got that information here in front of me. You're also someone that I would consider and look at for community service instead of payment. And I do like to just kind of disclose that once I see that that's the case. So my first question, and if you'll let me kind of walk through it a little bit with you, is on the insurance charge. The compliance dismissal options are available if you were insured at the time of the stop, which was August 15th. And you did enter a no contest plea, but before I accept that plea, I would ask, were you insured at that time?
No, I was not. I am currently though.
Okay, when did you get insurance?
August 25th.
Okay. All right, and then before I go forward with that case, I guess my next question is, you're extended to tomorrow on your address failing to report a change of address charge. And the question is, have you been able to get that change of address completed?
No, I demonstrated to the clerk when I was there initially to fill out the paperwork that I have a current license, driver's license with the current address. Everything's good.
I was the extended without a plea. Let me look just a bit deeper. Was it the fee perhaps? And I look at the, yeah, gotcha. And that's April loss. Still waiting. I have a system misbehaving. Let me see if I can have a better. Let's see. Miss Thomas is very good at figuring out what she needs to do. Okay, Miss Thomas is, well, she's going to need to dial back in on her phone. But I've got
I did explain that to her, Judge.
Okay. She's back in the meeting here, but we need her audio. Mrs. Harris, I'll be with you in a moment. Okay, I see. Okay, so Mr. Cordes, there was a dismissal fee that was needed, and now I can make the determination that I can waive that fee and do that. So I'll be dismissing that one and waiving that fee since I have determined that you're indigent. Okay, so that case, the address change is being dismissed for what we call compliance. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and then the registration charge, you did enter a no contest plea, but what I'm going to ask you is, are you able to get the vehicle up to date on the registration?
I honestly don't believe so because the car sustained some damage in an accident a couple of years ago. And so it would need significant money invested into the car to make it, I think, fully compliant with registration currently.
Okay. So what I would normally do in that case, as well as the insurance case, is go ahead and accept your plea. find you guilty of the offenses and order community service instead of payment due to the fact that I have determined that you're indigent. And if I do that, then it's 22 hours of community service with a due date of November 22nd. The city of Temple is one of the providers on the community service list. If you work with them, they do require a waiver, and I would have you sign that waiver, preferably today is what we're trying to do, and give you a list of places where you can do the work, a timesheet to keep track of your hours, and a list of rules to follow in completing your community service. If you get your community service done and turned in by your due date, then I would zero out your balance and complete your cases. If you are not able to complete it by the due date, you would be required to turn in what you have and request an extension. I normally grant those provided we're moving forward and I know that you're keeping up with things. So what do you say?
I would prefer the community service. That's a great option. Thank you for that.
Right. When can you be here today? What time can we look for you? Come in and pick up your
Let's
packet.
see, shortly after the meeting ends, so let's say certainly by 11:30 this morning at the very latest, but probably close to 11 actually.
Okay, I'll just put a note on the file for that, and we'll have everything probably by the time you get here, including a copy of the dismissal.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mattson, Ms. Thomas did get her audio back on as well, and she's back in the meeting. And so, hi, ma'am. Where are we, Mr. Mattson? We're going to start with Mr. Mattson, just letting me know where we are on, it's an unreasonable noise charge, I believe. Mr. Mattson?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to reduce the fine to $50. And I believe that Ms. Thomas is on a community service plan already.
Yes. Let me do that reduction. The court costs are 81, is that right?
That is the number that I have, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Ms. Thomas, what actually will happen then is I will modify your community service order to include this case if you are pleading no contest and accepting the reduction. And that would add just 7 more hours to that date. That deadline is October 7th. So since I have you here, let me ask you how we're doing with the community service option.
You said, how am I doing with the community service?
Right. How far along are you?
I got 6 more hours to go.
Okay. Where are you doing?
I'm
where are
at
you doing?
the CTLC at the pantry.
Okay. If I add 7 more hours, do you think that you would be able to meet the deadline of October 7th, or would you need more time?
I probably make the deadline. I think I can make it.
I can go ahead and give another 30 days. What if you'll remind me, I think your deadline is October 7th. And
yes,
I would just shift that to, let's say, October 20th.
To October 20th?
Yes.
So not 7th?
Yes, that's correct. That way,
okay,
there's just a few extra weeks in case you need it.
So when I'm done with these 6 hours for the first case, do I turn that in or just keep it going until October the 20th?
You can keep it going because I know that provider and I know you're doing fine. And so all of it will just shift to October 20th. Okay,
so you said add 7 more hours to that 6?
Right, the new case, there were 2 previous cases, and this
Yes,
third
ma'am.
case adds 7 hours. So
Okay.
technically, if you've just got 6 more to go, that's a total of 13 more to go.
Okay.
Okay, we'll email it to you though.
Okay.
Now, I don't have your current hours, so it'll still say what you had before plus these hours.
Yes, ma'am. I got the 29. And so when I'm done with all this, just come turn it in to up there to the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You're good to go. You too, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. We were going to add it to. Mr. Matson, I think you have one more. Arthur Cooley or Coley. Mr. Coley or Cooley, how do you say your name?
Coley.
Coley. Okay. I'm going to move you over to that breakout room with Mr. Matson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I am moving forward with Darren Smith. Mr. Smith, can you unmute for me, please? Hi, Mr. Smith. How are you this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning? Can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing very well. And I'm just looking at the paperwork that you gave me while I talked to you. Are you the only income to your home?
Am I what?
Are you the only income to your home?
Yes, ma'am.
You requested a payment plan on an expired driver's license charge, and the costs and fines are $181, and you entered a plea of no contest. I wanted to ask you, are you in a position where you could get your license back to not expired, but in fact, current?
Not at this time, Your Honor. There's some out-of-state issues because it was a CDL. So I can't do it right now. No, ma'am.
How long would it take you to get up to speed?
I don't know. It would. There's a problem with a driving school that's not there anymore that I took a driving course on.
What state? Do you mind me asking?
What?
What state is the issue with?
Kentucky.
You know, I almost guessed Kentucky because I just get so many complaints about it. And it seems to appears very difficult to resolve issues with the state of Kentucky and the state of Mississippi. And I do not know why that is. But I hear that a lot. And I have empathy for you on that. I am able to go ahead and move forward with you if you don't feel like you're going to get to the point where you can lawfully drive. I would say I have a packet available for, trying to resolve out of license issues. It's not necessarily terribly helpful for the out of state issues, but I can give you a copy of that along with, I'm willing to order a payment plan. Here's the thought. I have a couple of ideas. I am able to order community service and take a doctor note if your doctor says you can't do it. So that is an option. It's kind of like option 1. Option 2 would be to order $25 a month. You can always pay $50 like you've suggested. If you can pay more, you can always pay more. We don't penalize you when you do that. but I can see that money is not easy for you right now. So which would you prefer to do?
Let's go with option 2 where I just pay the 25.
Would today be a good day to start, or is there a better time?
Actually, not until I get paid again, probably until the 3rd.
Okay, so we'll begin in September on the 3rd.
Yes, ma'am. That'll be fine.
Okay. Can you come to court and sign for this payment plan today?
Today?
Yes.
Just sign? Yes, I can.
Yes. What time should we look for you?
Probably before noon.
Okay. We will look for you around that time, and they should have it quick and easy at the front desk, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you very much.
There's a license packet if you want it, Mr. Smith, and it'll be with your paperwork if you want to see if that's helpful to get an occupational, and how to resolve issues, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you. I'll let you go. And Mr. Coley, Mr. Matson, where are we with regard to the 2 cases that we have pending at this time?
We are going to set for a final, Your Honor, and
Okay.
Mr. Coley has requested discovery.
Okay. We're set for October 5th. Is that enough time to get discovery complete and available?
That shouldn't be a problem, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll add it to that docket and we'll keep it where it is. Mr. Coley will just come to the court at your time, which is 1, and we'll proceed from there.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
October 5th. Okay,
You got
thank
it.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, you are good to go. Thank you for your time today.
Judge, I'm actually going to hang out until you're finished. Just
Okay.
to ask you a quick question, but I'll just mute myself and stay out of your way.
No problem. I'm moving forward with Jasmine Tovar. And Jasmine Tovar, if you'll unmute and tell me how you're doing today. While
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I do have, let's see. Okay. We have deferrals on 2 cases where I granted deferral on your license and insurance cases. Your community service was due by September 6th. I do see that you were having car trouble. That's what you told me in your paperwork. However, I don't have your community service and I have a new offense during a deferral, which is part of the problem with that is that if you
Right.
reassert, it's a problem. So first of all, on the new no insurance charge, August 8th, you did enter a plea of guilty. And is that your plea for that charge at this time?
Yes.
Okay. I do appreciate that you've been straightforward in your paperwork. I think that I think that the solution right now for this court is that I go ahead and on the 2 deferral cases, you're continuing to drive without insurance. And, that's part of the condition of that deferred, that you not do that.
Okay. My insurance, where I get my insurance, normally all the places are a little high, but I found a cheaper rate. So I have insurance right now and I plan to keep it. And as soon as I get this all settled out, then I can go back to working and I will have a steady job and steady income to be able to keep up with that.
Okay. Where have you been doing your community service?
I was trying to go to CTLC, but honestly, I've just been dealing with a lot. My radiator in my car is broke. My mental health has been really bad. I lost my job at a daycare due to being sick. you know, and I had a doctor's note, I had all the right things, and they still, you know what I mean, let me go. I didn't get unemployment because I hadn't been working there long enough. The help center is helping with my rent. I need my ADHD meds really badly. I tend to forget a lot of things or not keep things organized. But I've got an appointment set for the 25th. I waited 3 months, you know, to get that appointment. So I'm trying to get it all back together.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to get this as not complicated as possible. It's complicated because
Right.
because it's ongoing.
Right.
So you haven't done any community service hours, is that right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We had a show cause from September 6th regarding that. I think
Yes.
what I'm going to go ahead and do is find you guilty on the other two cases, because I don't
Okay.
really have a choice at this point. We've already extended it out
Right.
as far as
Right.
it can go.
Right.
But so I will go ahead and convict on those two cases. However, I will extend you on your community service,
Okay.
which is going to go up because of the new case. Okay.
Right.
So the new total is 37 hours.
Okay.
I'm going to extend your community service deadline to November 22nd.
Okay.
And what we'll do is email you the new timesheet.
Okay.
And you need to change your battery in your fire alarm.
Oh, you hear it? Is
Oh,
that
yes,
what?
we can all hear it.
Oh, I didn't know that's what that was. Okay.
Well, I would like you to be safe, and that's probably what that is.
Thank you.
You'll need to get a battery so that it stops.
Thank you.
I would lose my concentration dramatically with that happening all day long. That would
Right.
just drive me bananas. Okay, we will email you the new paperwork. Okay, since
Okay.
we already have your signature.
All right. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have any questions?
I don't. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Tovar. Keep on trying. Now, you need to understand that the DPS department, you need to keep your address current with them, because these convictions are probably going to trigger additional consequences with them.
Okay.
They do have an indigent program like I do. They will sometimes reduce what you owe them, but they do sometimes take action when you keep getting insurance charges.
Right. Right.
Okay. All right. I just want you to be aware and be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
Because I am almost positive that's going to happen. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Are you okay to go?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I am moving forward slowly but surely. Mariella Cesares, if you can unmute.
Hello.
Good morning. And Maria, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have Mariella and Maria. Is mother and daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Mariella, I did receive this offense. It's a possession of tobacco by a minor. It has fines and costs of $181. I received a plea of guilty and a request for teen court.
Correct.
And I'm just looking, you're at Temple High School, which you're in luck, because that's where we do the teen court there. So if you want to do teen court, I actually think it's a really good idea. And it does save you a bunch of money, and it keeps the item off your record. I'm also supposed to be ordering tobacco awareness class if you're moving forward with this case. So if we did teen court, there's a $20 teen court fee. And then you show up at teen court November 16th at the high school with a parent. And we looked at a way to save you money and get you intervention and get you some, a dismissal as well. Are you interested in doing that?
Yes.
Okay. When can you come by the court to do paperwork?
That's my mom. She's my transportation.
Right, when can y'all come by today to do paperwork?
We could be there at 4.
Okay, I've got another person coming at 4. Can you come at 3:30?
Okay, what about 3:45? I get off
Okay.
at 3:30.
Okay, come over as soon as you're able and we'll work you in, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That was it.
Yes, ma'am.
The team advocates need some. All right, I am moving forward with Kim Sims. Neitha Sims, excuse me. Can you unmute? On the Sims case? Good morning.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Are you able to get on screen?
Yeah, I'm trying to turn it on now. Give me 1 second. So it's
Sorry?
I'm trying to turn my camera on now. 1 second.
Oh, I see.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
Okay. So let's see. Just give me one moment. This says a show cause for what? And I need a little bit more information. Give me one moment. I'm pulling your file further out.
No problem.
Oh, yeah. Got it. So, yeah, you did. I am trying, I know, I just didn't know if it was a show cause for what exactly. So, you know, I ordered community service, and that seems to be a problem. The choices I have are community service in your case or payment.
Yes. When I tried to, they said that I have to be COVID vaccinated, and I'm not looking forward to doing that.
I have a list of
Can you hear me?
places, and yeah, I can hear you just fine, but I have a list.
Well, I'm
of
not in the
places.
temp.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, we can move to payments if you want to do that, but I'm not able to
Yeah.
accommodate someone who's not able to go because of that reason.
Right.
It's
I
not
understand.
a
I'm not in
lawful
the Temple
reason.
area as well.
Yeah, but it's not considered a lawful excuse. So I can't waive it for that. So I can either give you more time or I can give you a low payment.
Okay.
But-
The low payment plan would be fine.
Okay. $25 a month.
Yes.
Can you make a payment today?
No.
Then I don't know if
On
it's
the
really going to
30th.
work out. I mean, this case has been pending since May of 2020.
Yes.
And really all I have is I set deadlines and you don't meet them. And
Okay. I could try to make it today.
yeah, and I need your signature on it today as well. So I can email you a copy of the payment plan. And I need a signature today. Emailed back, a legal signature. You have to print it, sign it, and email it or scan it back over somehow to us. Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay. We'll email it to you. You'll need to stay on your payment plan. It'll be due every month at the same time.
And what's the date?
Today.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. We'll email it over. Thank you.
No problem.
Moving forward, if I could talk to Charles Shelton. I know you've had a little bit of trouble with your connection.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. It kicked me off for some reason.
I certainly don't have a clue why that would happen. Usually it's a connection issue.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are on time and it's a red light charge from September 8th. The fines and costs are $269, and I did receive a plea of no contest, a request for a deferral. Is that your request at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I am confused. Your license is from one state and you live in another, or am I misreading?
No. So I have a house in Michigan, and I'm down here for I take care of family, and I'm travel CNA. So I'm down here working. I'm on a 9-week assignment.
Okay. All right. That works. I'll grant your deferral.
Okay.
Let's see. Was there an accident?
No, ma'am.
Can you pay your court costs today, which are $269?
I can't until the 7th. I think it's the 7th of October. I had to send, I support my parents, so I have to send money home every week. The 7th of October is when I can pay it in full.
Okay. I'm just making notes.
Yes, ma'am.
Your due date then will be, I'm sorry, your final date on your deferral will end January 24th of 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
During that time, sorry, I didn't do that on purpose.
That's my birthday, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw your face and I thought it must be his birthday. And sure enough. So on your birthday, my gift to you will be to sign your dismissal. But kidding aside, I would email you the deferral paperwork in a few minutes, with it this morning.
I was gonna say, I can come to the courthouse this morning.
Oh, can you? That's easier. And then you get a copy. Okay. What time would you be by?
As soon as we get off, I can jump in the car and head that way.
Okay, 11-ish. We'll look
Yes,
for
ma'am.
you then. Okay. Okay, and then we'll have everything at the front desk for you. You can also find out from them how you pay online or by phone if you need to do that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Shelton, we'll see you here shortly.
All right, you have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You too. And I am moving forward. Let's see. Christopher Weed, can you unmute for me, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm fine. Let's see. There's a red light charge from August 15th. The fines and costs are $269. I did receive a no contest plea, and I received a request for a payment arrangement due to low income. I'm actually in a position to order community service instead. And that's going to work a little bit more easily with the deferral request, because the deferrals really don't last that long. And if we did like a low payment plan of say $25 a month, it would take a lot longer than the deferral would last. So I think I would say I'm kind of going to condition it, the deferral acceptance. And I will accept and grant that, but I'm going to say, let's do community service instead of payment. Otherwise it becomes really, it's not workable.
Is there a way I could do like half payments and half community service, or?
There is, but I will tell you that I actually give a triple credit on the community service. So it is almost like paying it. It's about like paying half. So I would say 14 hours of community service due November 22nd as a condition of your deferral.
Okay.
You'll have to come sign your deferral paperwork. I'm going to give a little more time on the deferral to February 21st, just in case we need it for the community service.
And when I come down there to sign, y'all have a list of places I can do community service?
Yes, I'll have a list of places where you can do the work. I'll also have a waiver form for you to sign. You'll sign that waiver form and, you know, you're just documenting your hours at that point. And get them turned in, and then grows out your balance, and then you stay ticket free, warrant free for the duration of the deferral. Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Okay, you're good to go. But when should we look for you at the window?
I'm going to work right now. I should be
Yes.
off between 3 and 4.
Okay. I'll just put that you're here by around 4.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a nice day.
You too. You're good to go.
Thank you.
Before I move on, Mr. Sims, you logged back in. Miss Sims, excuse me. But I can't hear you. There's no audio. So I'll come back to you in a few minutes. I'm going to move forward, though, with folks who are waiting. Christina Williams, can you unmute, ma'am? I do have, you know, I've been trying to get community service from you, and I know you're requesting a payment plan. What, have you been able to get any of the community service done?
No, because I didn't have no insurance on my car, so I didn't want to drive and get pulled over again. So when I got insurance on the car, finally, 3 days later, the transmission went out. So I ain't been driving, and I ain't got no way to get around.
Okay. So if I order payment, that's pretty difficult. I could do $20 a month and reduce.
Okay.
When could you make a first payment?
Today.
Okay. When can you come by? You're going to have to come by to sign. Can you get someone to bring you over?
You have to be after 3 o'clock when my son get off of work.
Okay. We'll look for you after 3, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And in the meantime, that actually gives me a little time. I need to look and do a reduction. Take the $5. Yeah, I'm going to do a reduction as well to keep this low for you, given the circumstances. Okay, Ms. Williams, we'll have it at the front desk for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Kendrick, can you unmute to talk to me?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. Good morning. Can you hear me?
How are you? Yeah, can you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, so there's a request for community service. Let me just look and see. Where are you working?
I'm currently working at Whataburger.
Okay, and how long have you been there?
For only about 2 weeks.
Okay, Have you gotten a paycheck yet?
Yes.
What did it look like?
Do I have to say? It was not that good, man.
Right. Was it a normal paycheck or like
Yeah, it
sometimes
was
at the beginning?
because
it's-
I work part-time, so it wasn't that good. It wasn't very good. And they get paid weekly, so it wasn't very good at all.
That's
And
okay, but I do need to know because you have to disclose it to me so that I can make an intelligent decision here.
it was like 120.
Okay. Do you think that's going to be about what it looks like?
Like every week?
Yes.
Nah, no, man.
What do you think? Will it go up or down? or
Yeah,
what's-
I believe it'll go up probably in like 250 every week, 2 something every week.
Okay. I'm just going to put that as a range. Between 120 and 250 is 185.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that as just kind of a way to sort of guess our way to a solution. Why did someone put? Oh. No, that's not what that. Do you have any other income?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, we've had a payment plan of $50 a month, but you've not been employed while that was happening.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I think I could just lower it to $25 a month.
Okay.
And we could start in a few weeks.
All right. So I wasn't able to get the community service.
No.
All right.
You're not-
The 25 is cool. It was just that I wasn't working, and it came so fast, so I wasn't prepared for it. But the fact that I'm working now, I can make it. But
okay, but we're gonna what we'll do is take that old plan out of place, and you won't be behind anymore. We're starting over.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And 2 weeks from today is October 4th. What day of the week do you get paid? What's the pay date?
Yeah, I get paid every Wednesday, so I don't know exactly what day that is tomorrow. I think it's the 21st. Yeah, 21st is tomorrow.
So 2 weeks from tomorrow is the 5th.
Okay.
So we're just going to do a payment on the 5th. And we'll do 25 a month beginning October 5th. You can always pay more and just get it over with.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But I do need your signature today.
All righty.
So,
and is that paper or email?
So you tell me. I can email it to you if you're able to print it, sign it, and scan it back over.
I can probably make it up there if that's fine.
Yes.
Sign paper.
What time?
But I won't be able to make it till around 3 or 4.
Okay. Do the thing today. Okay, well, we'll have it at the front desk for you. It shouldn't take more than a few minutes.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one further, I'm going to end the public